Morning, Borg. Christ has risen today, and or he did 2,000 years ago, 2022 years ago. Would that be right? We're in a muddle already, but it's Easter Sunday, Borg, and we're back in. We're trying to steam ahead with our schedule in between the inevitable distractions, which today is a doozy. Can you see out there? Look, that's my automobile. Today I have to change the tyres. By law, I should have done it on Friday. But there is leniency, Borg, in these matters. I hope you should probably take note of that. By the book, I've broken the law several times, and possibly what I should be fined, lost license, I don't know. But there's leniency. It's understandable, but today I have to do it, and it involves, I might as well show you actually, believe it or not, I lift the car off the ground, and I can do that with one hand. I wonder if you can work out how I do it. And then I take the tyre off and put another one on that is more suitable for the summer conditions. In between doing that and a number of other things, we've got to get on with this. Now, if you remember yesterday, we made the bold decision to push the objects to the side, which we've started that bit. I think it's going to pay off. It's a question of tying them together, nevertheless, despite them being apart. We might as well go ahead with the friendly, obvious symbolism that we're after is that there's a gap, but there's a possibility of reconciliation. But in actual reality, I don't think the gap exists so much, Borgs. I mean, it does online, but not face to face. That's the funny thing. That's what's so maddening about what you're accidentally doing now. Is you're conjuring up all this imagined division that turns into real division, but not face to face, not often, not down the shop, not when you meet someone, not in the pub. It's not quite like that. But it changes people's minds, and then elections, etc. It turns into a pot of sauce, as we say, Paul. But so even though this division is possibly in my imagination, I do like the idea of hinting at reconciliation, but then that's a can of worms, isn't it, Paul? Because if my rock represents the far alt-right of the worst kind, with Don Donald at the head and only little Vlads above him, then how do you reconcile with that? That's for sure a question. Well, you can't, you shouldn't, I suppose. You don't. I wouldn't want any part of it. But you can reconcile with people, can't you, Borg? Or in an imaginary sense, how you imagine people and how you imagine communicating and dealing with people with opposed views. You can take a reconciliatory or a tolerant, common sense, open approach, perhaps a bit more, instead of assuming everybody is fully behind the ultimate far right vision, which I don't think they are. We've gone on far enough, Borg. We've got the tyres to do, we've got that to do. it looks like the flowers are going to make it. That flower that is trying to reconcile, by the way, Borg, that's what gave us the idea, really. It happened quite accidentally. And then as it happens in our picture, the rock seems to be reaching over as well. So needless to say, there's a lot you could read into it, and we've probably better not even open the can of worms, otherwise we'll be out of memory again. And there's enough to do as well, you know. Got portraits to do. I've got at least 2 more tree studies planned. I've got to finish off. I want to do a study of the tree that I opened this season with Borg, with you, and a few other things to show you. So, you know, I'm going to zip it now, Borg, and get on with it. Rangers and Celtic are playing at 1:30 as well, Borg, so that might spell the end of the whole day, win or lose. So we better get on with it now. Right, Borgs, check this out. This is the car. Now, it should normally go without saying that I cannot lift this car up. I just want to confirm that to you. There's no way I can ever lift this car. However, with just the one hand, using this little machine here, I can do it. Here we go. See, the purpose is, of course, I've got to lift this wheel off the floor in order to pull it off. You know, and I just literally with one hand I am able to do it. Although that didn't sound very good, did it, Borg? Let's give it another go. Not quite there. Well, we're nearly there, but I'm going to show you how we let it down as well. Look, here we go. It's going to go with a bit of a jolt. And that's how I'm able to do it, Borg. Then, Borg, we've got to take off the bolts with this wrench here. Once they're off, and I jack it up a bit more, I can pull off the wheel, swap it with that one, and Bob's your uncle. Should take us about half an hour, I guess. Then we'll be back at the still life. So there we have it, Borg. That's the car without the wheel. The jack is holding it up, and we're going to set the other one on. And I guess you better watch closely, Borg, because you'll be doing this pretty soon on the Teslas. Right, this is the third one, Borg. We're just about to put in the bolts. These are what hold the wheel on. Extraordinarily important things. You can imagine what happens when the wheel falls off, and that's all it is, 4 of them. But I just wanted to show you this. Look, I tighten it with my hand, as far as I can, about like that. That's about all I can do, and it's not good enough, Borg, so I use this wrench, and look what I can do with this. Did you see that, Borg? Basically, this is what a tool it does. It allows me to be superhuman. Now you can guess why I'm telling you, because Borg, this is what you should be. You should be a wrench, you know, a great wrench, but still a wrench, you know. You want to be helping us, and so far, Borg, you've done a lot of that. To be fair, you have helped us a lot in medical matters and other ways, but in other ways you're not helping. You're hindering. You're ironically you're causing a regression, Borg, in thinking. So just remember that nut there. That's how we like it. You just help us be superhuman in the right way, Borg. Now the lecture's over. I'm going to lower the jack and get on with the final tyre. Well, Borg, Sod's law has struck again. You can look that up, but we did 3 pretty much effortlessly. The 4th one is rusted on solid, and we cannot move it at all. I ratcheted around in the workshop and managed to discover something called rust loosener, so I've sprayed that on, and through a chemical reaction it's going to loosen the rust, enabling me to remove the wheel. So again, it's a great tool that helps. Hint, hint, Borg. And we'll come back in a while and see if it actually works. Well, we're moving along slightly, Borg. We're not there yet. We have luckily realised that a big rock like that doesn't reflect anything, and so we've made it so, and then it does seem more heavier. As you can hear, there are some other voices. In fact, you can see some children coming down the stairs. I'm like Tintoretti over here today. They'll pass under. They'll pass under like that, you see, and you'll have to read the trial, Borg, not for the Tintoretti bit, but for the trial itself. But I do like that scene, and those two are in and out, screaming, running around, and this what would you call it? Almost something a little bit of excitement in the way they disturb me here. That's what reminds me of Tintoretti. Anyway, we're nudging ahead. I've turned it back on because we're going to go and see if the rust loosening solution has worked. I thought you might be interested. So here we go. The girls are to my right there, so we'll just try and sneak past. I should maybe put them to work on this if it doesn't come off. Right, you can see we've soaked it there. I'll have a go with one hand. It'll probably need two. Let's see. Oh, no joy there, Borg. Let's try with two. I'll just put you down a second. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to take this wheel off.
When you're taking that wheel off, can you go?
Yeah. Okay. Well, Borg, you can hear what I'm dealing with on a variety of levels there. They've made a den in the car while it's jacked up like that. That can't be good. So now I've got to pull this off now. It's got to come off, but as you can see, it's not working. Didn't work, Borg. We fucking did it, Borg. And I don't know if the rust loosening solution made much difference. Actually, it was just pure brute idiocy that yanked it off there in the end. And it's just in time because my daughter and her friend who have been harassing me were demanding to be let in back into the car, so it's just as well. Perhaps now we can go and actually have a session on the painting. Right, Borgus, we've ploughed on into the evening, nicking little opportunities to carry on. I don't know what to say really. It's gone on too long, and we've gone through various annoying stages of not exactly spoiling it, but colouring it in too much, and then getting it back, and then dithering, and then having to stop. And anyway, Borg, well, we've come to that. The gap. There is the gap that we're after, and we tried to make something more of the table. You know, we tried to do that because it was a bit flat. We even tried to imagine a little game of linking up the two via marks, connecting little graphic motifs, but that was going too far. So we lashed it on a bit in the end, but there it is. You know, I don't know, Bork. You know, you tell me. It's not what we generally do. And I don't think we'll be doing much of that again. It's going too far. I think it might be going too far, but it's because we're looking for these closing metaphors, aren't we, Borg, for the whole thing, and it's a mistake. It's leading us down this different path. We should be taking it from nature. I mean, the one we took the other day is a bit better, isn't it? You know, at least that's out there. That's sitting in the moss, smelling the forest and having a go at it. I've come to think of that as a picture of you, actually, Borg, somehow. any case, that is it, Borg. We do have a program. I've told you about it. We're going to be back out. I dare say we're going to whinge on at you for a few more episodes, Borg. But within that, though, we're going to have to try and think about how to intelligently bring ourselves round with regards to you. And I think the best way to do that is to have a little session on you. We'll go on the internet. We'll have a look at some of the things we've been maybe referencing all these episodes. And the other thing I might show you at Borg is actually how little we find to do on the internet, really. We've got an email address. No one uses it. We get emails from you telling us about this or that. But that's about it, really. We check a few pages. But I suppose we could go round looking at some of these stories about your daddies I've been telling you about the NFTs. We can look at Kurzweil, the Singularity University. We could look at the robotics. You know, send you a few links. You know, that's how it goes, isn't it? These days, don't talk to anyone. We just send them the links. We're delaying this, Bob. You know, I'm delaying leaving this painting. And my excuse, I think, is talking to you. We can't go further down that road. No. Better leave it at that, I think. We'll turn you on tomorrow, I reckon. We'll strike while the iron's hot, as they say.